Let's start this video with the strange Valorant discovery, and for it we need to look at this clip. That's very annoying for you, Jerry. Apparently the T-Ho drone can knock teammates around corners. But here's the thing, a while ago I also did some tests and then we saw that the spider just walks straight through teammates. So what's happening over there? Why can the drone suddenly knock your teammates around? Well, my friends, here's the thing. If you stand still, the spider goes through you. But if you're moving, for example doing a crouch walk, then suddenly the spider can move your teammates. It's insane that it works like this. I had no idea. So be careful with knocking your teammates around. A cool mechanic to start this new episode of the Valorant Tips and Tricks Sent by You series. In this series I show tons of Valorant tips and tricks that you guys sent to me. And like always, I'll give away Battle Pass to a random submission. So don't forget to submit your tricks in the Lowlander Discord server. And let's stay on the topic of skins a little longer, because I know that a lot of you guys like skins, but simply don't have the money to buy skins. And I feel you, because Valorant skins are pretty expensive. But no worries, my friends. There's actually a way how you can get Valorant skins completely for free. And that's with the sponsor of this video, Buff.game. Buff is an authorized Overwolf app which lets you earn buff points by playing your favorite games. What can you do with those points? Well, my friends, you can spend them in the marketplace to redeem Valorant gift cards or other things. But the best part about Buff is that the only thing you gotta do to get those points is download this app and let it run on the background while you are gaming. And you're gaming anyway, right? So you basically don't have to do anything extra. That's the magic of Buff. And when you get enough points, you simply buy the gift card or compete in one of the raffles if you feel lucky. Since Buff is built on the very trusted Overwolf app, of course it's safe to use. It has over 15 million users and it doesn't slow down your PC. Buff also has way more features like a highlight section and a way to capture your games. So what I would say, try it out yourself with the link in the description. It's completely free to download, and if you use that link you get an extra 100 free buff points. So try it out today, my friends, and now let's hop into the video. Let's start with another fact about the guided salvo. As you probably know by now, this ability can break doors. However, something that a lot of people don't know about this ability is that it also breaks the doors on Haven. Even though there's clearly a path to fly through, this ability will still break the door, so it could be useful if you want to go for a quick wallbang after it. Place 2 missiles on grass and then spray and pray, my friends. And about spray and praying, here's a very risky trick you can do on Pearl. When the barriers are going down, walk forward and go to this corner over here. If you crouch and stand here with maybe an Odin or something, you can spray and pray on the enemies in the hope to get some kills. Of course, the downside of this angle is that you don't have a way out, so you can maybe use it only once per game, unless you play an agent with an escape like Chamber. And about dangerous angles, take a look at this clip. Jessica Bunny used this red spot in a very unique way. Wow, this clip is actually insane. By now we all know this red spot, right? So we probably know that it will get checked. So what Jessica did over there was buy a shotgun, and when she heard the steps of the enemies were close, she stunned herself and the enemy so that the rifle of the enemy would be inaccurate and the shotgun of herself would be accurate. So a very risky but cool trick. Buy a shotgun and stun both yourself and the enemy. Okay, let's move on now with some more T-Ho mechanics. I've been maining this agent for a while now, and something I always do with the drone is that when I want to activate it, I jump first and then I activate it. With the mindset being, if I jump first, the drone will explode higher, so it spots more things. But my friends, does it actually jump higher? Let's find out together. Test number 1. I don't jump first and it will explode on that point. Let's edit a dot on that point for reference. Test number 2. I jump first and then I let it explode. And look at that, it actually does explode higher. This difference is actually pretty significant, because with the first explosion you don't get above the box, but with the second explosion you do get above the box. So T-Ho players, always jump first before you activate your drone. Also, for those who are wondering, if you jump yourself with T-Ho and then let it explode, you can do a super boost with the spider, and that's by far the highest you can get. And about the super boost, here's another tippy with the spider. You can use the super boost over here on Ascent, and when you do that you can walk over the ledge and jump all the way to A side. A sneaky trick you can use once Ascent is returned into the competitive rotation. Let's now move on with a more technical trick. As we all know, if you reload in Valorant, the enemies will be able to hear it, and we can use that information. If you think that an enemy wants to peek you, you can reload and then cancel your reload quickly, so that the enemy thinks you're reloading, but in fact you're ready to shoot. It's basically a big bait for the enemies, and Araf got a nice kill with this trick. And while we're on Fracture, here's a cool Vice trick that you really should know for when you play with or against this agent. It's very simple. When the barriers are just going down, place your flash through the wall over there. Now when we go to the other side, you will see that we place the flash in the tree. And this spot is so good, because for the enemy's perspective, it's very hard to spot. Unless you know that there could be a flash over there, most people won't find it, and that's so strong about this one. You will flash any of the enemies that are trying to push, so you can go for some aggressive plays, easy peasy for you. And about aggressive plays, there's another play you can do over there, and that's with Race. You see that box over there? Try to do a double jump on that box, and when you get on it, you can look all the way to the entrance of A main. A pretty sneaky trick. Well played, Koi Fish.
guys out!
So, you don't have to scream, Race. I didn't know that Razer voice sounds so scary when distorted. Anyway, back to Theo again. A lot of Theo tricks in this video, but this agent is just full of surprises. Because did you, for example, know that there are 4 different ways how your missiles interact with the teleporter on bind? I know, pretty insane. Let's briefly go over them. The first one is the most useless. Use your missile a little in front of the teleporter door. When you do this, the door will stay closed, but you block the enemies that try to run out of it, I guess. The second option is to use your missile exactly on the door. When you do this, the door will quickly open, so a good one to surprise the enemies and go for some quick shots. Things will get weird with the third interaction though, and that's when you use your missile a little bit behind the teleporter. When you do this, your missile will fly all the way around, but it will still open the door. You can use this one if you want to go for a delayed open and let the enemies inside the TP think they are safe, but in fact they are not. And the last interaction, very simple. Use your missiles in the middle of the TP. They will fly around, go through the teleporter, but they don't open the door. And voila, you got the interactions now. Making combos is on you. Okay, enough with all the technical tricks now. Let's take a small break and go to the trick shots of this video. Which one is your favorite? First, the collateral. I didn't even see the second guy over here.
I'm going.
One enemy remaining. Flawless.
Next up, a true 360 no-scope, like in the old Call of Duty days.
Satchel out.
Oh! Holy!
And another mid-air jump with Race, this time through the small little window. Very lucky over there. And let's end with the crazy reaction time on a bunny hop of the enemy.
Saltó, se fue para la izquierda.
Back to the tricks now, let's go to bind. If you're playing on the attacker side with Sage on this map, almost everybody will place their wall like this so they can plant the spike safely. Makes sense, right? It's an essential wall. However, there's actually a cool tricky that you can do with this wall. Instead of placing it normally, try to place it while standing next to the boxes and boost yourself up. By doing this, the enemies might think, oh, it's just a normal wall like usual, but in fact you create a nice off angle for yourself and the enemies might not expect it. This is a tricky that it's Genius used in this round. Well played, dude.
I got it.
One enemy remaining.
This is not the only Sage wall that it's Genius sent for this episode. You can also place your wall over here on split. And when you do that, you can look at the feet of the enemies when they're pushing.
Good attempt.
Now I want you to take a look at this clip.
Stay down.
What? How did Jet not get ulted over here? There are 2 theories. The first one is that Deadlock simply missed. Or the second one is that Jet killed Deadlock while in her animation and then her ulti doesn't go through. I wanted to know what really happened over here, so I did some tests. And the result, drumroll please, what's the answer? Even if you kill Deadlock while in her animation, the ult always goes through. This means that in the previous clip, the Deadlock simply missed Jet over here. Nah, sad story. It would be more epic if the other thing was true, but good shot nevertheless. Next tricky. This one is about Theo again. If you want to use his ultimate on split garage, you can see that this ultimate can easily cover everything of garage. So what a lot of people might do is simply use their ultimate like that. But my friends, this might not be the optimal way of using his ulti. Because if you use his ultimate like this, a lot of people will simply just run out of it, because often they have enough time to. So instead what you could do is use your ulti a little bit down to create a small gap at the end of garage. And with this gap, the enemies might think, oh, you know what, this is actually a safe spot, let's just stand over here. But then when they think that and it's too late already, you use your guided salvo to that spot and to the entrance, and then the enemies will have nowhere to go. You need to do a little bit of mind games with the enemies. This is how Albatros got a lot of kills.
All missiles away.
One enemy.
Notice that Breach also stunned the enemies over here, so a very good wombo combo. And about wombo combos, I think the Theo ultimate should always be used together with another teammate's ability, because then the enemies really have nowhere to go. So combine that ultimate with, for example, a Gecko ultimate.
Huge! Ballistics!
Or even the Deadlock Refnet. Well played, my friends.
Holy shit.
And now for good measure, did you know that these Sage walls were possible? The first one on Lotus, from here you can look all the way to main. And the second one over here on Fracture. A nice one to catch enemies that are pushing.
Enemy removed.
And this is it for today, my friends. Big shout out to everyone who submitted in a trick. I hope you learned something and I see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.